Hello, everybody. How are you all? Hi. So, we will start the workshop in a few minutes. We will wait a couple of minutes for everybody to join, and I will see you in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay? Make yourself comfortable, and we will start this first workshop. Hello again, everybody. So now we officially start this first workshop dedicated to smart working. So, welcome again, everybody who joined us from Romania, the UK, and Italy. So we start officially. This is the first workshop of a series of workshops dedicated to smart working. During this workshop, we will discover more in detail what smart working is, and we will give you some tips, tricks, and we will discuss together about this new topic which we hear every day now, especially in the last 2 years. So this series of workshop is part of the Erasmus Plus project Smart Working, which was created by 5 partners from 4 different European countries: Italy, the UK, Romania, and Austria. The objectives of our project are to create a training pathway in smart working to help support disadvantaged categories, develop innovative pathways so that we can have a better inclusion and more digital inclusion and also skills. And then we have the promotion of skills development in the third sector. So teachers, trainers, mentors, so that they can better support disadvantaged categories and people with disabilities. So this is in general the objective of our project. Today, as the first workshop, we will discover about what smart working is. We will see together the ideas and theories behind smart working, and we will have also a more practical approach by giving you some examples of tools that can be used in order to make our life in smart working more productive and effective. So our event will be a very innovative and also interactive event in which we will ask you from different countries to join the conversation through our interactive tools. We will use in specific one tool called Menti, which will allow you with your smartphone to participate in our discussion. Moreover, if you wish, you can write everything, your thoughts, ideas in the chat in order to participate. And if you want, we can also activate for you your microphone and your camera so that you can join us. But now, let's start our workshop hearing your thoughts and ideas. So, taking your smartphone, I ask you to scan the QR code you can see on your screen and answer this question. What is the first thing you think when we say, hear, or see the word smart working? Okay, so you can scan the code. We will also send you, in case you cannot scan the code correctly, the link to join in the chat. So you can also click on that link and you will open on your smartphone this question and you will be able to answer. So I will do this myself so that I can show you. You can start sending your ideas. Okay, so some ideas are starting to arrive, as you all can see. You can write what really you think in general when you hear smart working. Great. Oh, now I'm seeing a lot of ideas coming. We have working or studying from home, internet, our work, remote work, digital, computer. We have more productivity, digitalization, great word that really summarizes everything. We have comfort, practicality, remote work again. Everything is changing quickly. Easy, work. So you have really lots of ideas. You can continue to share it with us. If you have more than one idea, you can just submit everything you think about the world. So yes, smart working really, as you know, is a concept that we started to embrace specifically in these last years. So it's something that is really common today, I think, in all Europe. So let's give for the last ones the opportunity to join. Okay. Now, thank you for participating. I hope you like this Menti. We will have different of these during our workshop. Please write in the chat your thoughts. You can also present yourself to the rest of the participants if you wish. Now, as we have seen, you have different ideas on smart working. But now let's focus on specifically defining this broad concept that really we have in common. So smart working is a concept that goes beyond working remotely. So we associate smart working as a term that comprehends different practices, including co-working, meaning of sharing an open workspace with other professionals. This has been very common, especially in big cities and in big companies, and also in startups that work not from a regular office, we can say the traditional office we are used to see, but they share a space which is rented or can be also booked if one person wishes to work and doesn't have the tools or the connection at home. It allows them to work together, but there are different people, not necessarily from the same company, sharing a workspace. Then we have mobile working, which is something maybe we are also doing ourselves in this moment. Some of you I can see are joined us through their smartphones. So this is a great way to also work from these devices which we always carry with us in every moment. Today, the smartphone is something we really cannot leave at home. It's something we do everything with. And we can also work. Smartphone have become, as the word says, smarter and smarter. So we can share documents, scan documents, create documents, create workspaces, etc. Then we have counseling 2.0. This is really an innovation which was maximized by this period of pandemic. In fact, in this period in which many of us could not move from home, but we had, for example, a technical issue with our personal computer, many companies that manage these tools activated this counseling and this help desk, we can say, at distance. So we have a person who is specialized, a technical, specialized in that particular software or hardware that connects with us through internet and help us solve the problem we have. And then, of course, we have distance learning. Distance learning is what a lot of us, but also our friends, children have experienced during this year. Distance working instead of remote working is more, we approached it really in this last year and a half, really, because school was more present physically with students and teachers, even if we already had examples of studying from home and platforms. So this is for an introduction of smart working. Now next, we will see how smart working has been defined. And lately, we had lots of studies by lots of specialists in different areas, sociologists, psychologists that have approached this topic. The Milan Polytechnic in smart working has defined smart working as a new business philosophy based on giving workers more freedom and autonomy with reinforced responsibility on results. This is definitely a good example and a good summary of what we just said. So we have a new way of thinking work. So we think work as something that can also be done outside the traditional way we think of the office. But we keep this kind of work with high levels of responsibility and a high reliability on results. Results are really the focus in smart working because it's the parameter through which we, and of course our bosses, for example, can measure our work. So we have different tasks to do, and the results we have is something we can measure and see if the work in smart working is good or not. So the key words here to remember for everybody are flexibility and intelligence. In fact, smart working has the word smart standing for intelligent work. Now, we have to also see, we also saw really a cultural change both in business and also in school. We have two main changes here. New ways of conceiving the life in and outside of companies and schools. Since in this period of smart working, the difference in between the working life and the private life has really been blurred. So we cannot see so much a clean definition of these two moments of our days. Since mostly when we are at home, we are also having some family time, especially this for working parents who have to face this additional challenge really. And then we have a change in the workplace or school. We mean a physical change in which we have new ways of conceiving workspaces. So now we have bigger workspaces. We can work, for example, in different areas and even in different countries for the same companies, or we can teach from a different country, thanks, of course, to these kind of platforms like the one we're using today. And the main aim of all these changes is to increase productivity and to have a balance in between work, school life, and personal life, private life. So next we will see how still in the EU we do not have a common law which regulates smart working, taking in consideration compensation, safety of the employee, redefinition of boundaries, as we've been saying until now. The EU is working to create a common regulation. Some countries, like for example, my example, Italy, are really only now, giving a structured law that regulates smart working. So now, this was a brief introduction to understand what smart work, what we mean with this term. Now, we will share with you another Menti in which we will discuss together another questions. So keep your smartphone at hand. In a few seconds, you will see on the screen a new QR code. We will share again the link in the chat in case you cannot access. And we want to discuss together with you which are the benefits of working or smart working or remote work. So take your phone and share with us your ideas. Let's see what you think. We have 1 minute from now, so you can see the time running out. So what for you, if you have experience while working, the benefits of this new way of work? Let's see together. Think some questions are arriving, I hope. Yes. We have flexible. We have do everything from home, absolutely. Avoid office stress. This is a great answer. Yes. And then less CO2 emissions. Yes, great answer. In fact, this also really good new perspective on this phenomenon. Then we have better time management. Great. Let's see what else do we have. Larger network reach, connectivity, fewer movements by car. So we see that there are people that are having the same look on this. Adaptive, and so on. No stress. Let's see. Well, simply, yes, we work in a simpler way, etc. Okay, great. Thank you for participating. We really appreciate all of your ideas. And this is also a way to share together our thoughts on the topic. So yes, you had great ideas regarding the benefits of smart working, which for the majority are benefits which we can see from our private experience. Many of us have been in smart working in this last year and a half. Either we studied or we worked. So we can see some benefits. As all you have seen, we have reinforced responsibility. This is one very important thing to stress about smart working. We have a reinforced responsibility of the worker, because of course, when we are home, we don't have our supervisor looking at us at all moments. So we need responsibility on what we're doing, which is also supported by the passion we have for our work. Then we have an increase in productivity, up to a 15%. This is a great data to underline. In fact, at the beginning of smart working, there were many people who were doubtful about how productive people could be in smart working, because maybe they didn't have a supervisor, or they had maybe some problems regarding their softwares, their digital skills. But instead, we have an increase in productivity. Like some of you have said, we have a better time for management. We can manage ourselves and our work in a different way, but with the same, if not better, results. Then we have improved digital skills. So this is another thing really to stress, because of course, many of us maybe did not work prior to this period of pandemic with some tools. But in smart working, they had to approach these. And these are tools which we will see then, will help us to be more productive. And there are tools also that help us work in teams, even at distance. Then we have some employees that feel they are more focused. As many of you have said, less stress because of many factors, because of the commute to work, which can take time, can stress us, especially if we work in big cities, etc. And then we have the valorization on talent, because as we said previously, we have a focus on the results that employee or that student has. Okay. Now, as everything in life, we also have some challenges connected to the benefits. So we have a tendency to overwork. This was really one of the main things people in smart working or in remote working or studying have highlighted. Since we are working from home, the difference in between our life and our private life are different. Then we have not adequate technological devices. So not everybody in every city in our home have the necessary equipment in order to approach smart working. Maybe we don't have a computer, we don't have, for example, a printer, or we don't have a good internet connection. Then we have difficult balancing between private life and working life, especially for this has been highlighted especially by women with family who felt a lot the pressure of working from home, delivering results, but at the same time, take care of their families. And then we have focus. Of course, working from home can sometimes have more distractions than what we are used to in our office or at school, for example. So now, what do you think about these challenges? Have you experienced them in smart working or not? Please write on the chat if you agree, if you think there are other challenges we didn't mention here that you personally faced. If you want, we have also activated for some of you the possibility to join with us through microphone and camera. So, for example, I can see that we have activated for Lucas, for Martin, Feliciana, then we have Anka. So, okay, some of you are writing, yes, internet problems, exactly. Many internet problems that we can also face in these moments. We have Rajiv who says that she used towards digital. Absolutely. Hello, Rajiv. Hi. Hi. How are you?
Hello, all is well.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yes. Now, yes. At the beginning, I could not hear you very properly. How are
Okay.
you, Rajiv? So you are from
From the
UK. You're joining us
UK.
from UK.
Yes. So the
Yes.
internet connection now is very low because everyone's piling on to it. So the bandwidth, we need better broadband.
Yes.
Everyone needs to go
Yeah.
fiber
So this
optic.
is really we are facing a problem that we usually we can happen in smart working. Many of us have seen. Okay. Hello everybody. I see some of you joining. Hello Anka, Felicia, Lucas, Maxim. Hi
Hello.
everybody. What do you think about this? Hi Anka. So what do you think about this challenge?
Well, I agree with them. And I also mentioned the internet connection, and this is precisely why. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now? But I cannot hear anything. Okay, I was saying that I totally agree with all of these challenges that you mentioned. And I could also add the poor internet connection because it can interrupt communication.
Okay, thank you, Anka. I think that Gabriela is having some issues with her internet. So, what about Maxim? What do you think?
Hi everyone.
You okay?
So you can listen me.
Yeah.
I begin by saying that I feel more comfortable being at office, working here because this is my workplace, and when I'm home, I this is my private life. So being at home, it's like weird because I live with my parents. So my mom come to me saying something, and I can distract more easily. I'm not concentrating at 100%, but when in office, I'm feeling so good, comfortable, and I'm working hard. So that's all.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, everybody. Also, my internet connection was gone for a minute. So sorry, everybody. Maybe I've missed something, but I just heard what Maxim was saying. So absolutely. So working from home can have more distractions because we pay attention to more things. So anybody who wants to share their experience? Anybody else? Oh, yes, yes. Rajiv, yes, we all have this.
Okay. I'm a
Hi.
hi. I'm a teacher, and I
Mhm.
in this moment we are a lot of internet connection with our students. It's very difficult to speak with a black desk
Yes,
and to want to transmit something. Uh,
to the others.
yes,
Yeah, I perfectly understand. In fact, now, for example, I feel more comfortable because I
because you
see
are
some of
seeing us.
you. Yes, exactly. So I see some of you here. I also get to know you and seeing you. So it's easier because, we can have an exchange. We can see the facial expression because this is
Exactly,
also,
exactly. Yes, and I have a question. You
yes,
know,
sure.
I have an age. Um,
Mhm.
I make a lot of self deducting. I learn a lot myself
Sure.
because I wanted to learn some different uh, subject of, I don't know, perhaps to teach or to make some new.
Experiences.
Okay, yes. How? Where do you put this in your program?
Yes,
Self
so
deducting.
sure. So we will see next in a few moments. I will give you some examples of some softwares and tools you can use to work in teams, maybe in your example with the other teachers, for example, to manage your work, cloud tools that we will see. For example, if you just use one type of tool, maybe we will give you some other sources that maybe can work best for you. And during the different workshop we will have once a month, we will discover tools. There will be presentation of, for example, on video conferencing, on events, how maybe you can manage an event like this. on meetings, how we can manage a team also from distance. So we will have different meetings with different topics. We can share with you again the program we have, so maybe you can also keep track with it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks to you. Okay, so I don't know, Lucas, I was out for 2 minutes. I don't know if you already gave us your thoughts about this.
Yeah, actually, I think there are some challenges which have to be met, but I totally support like smart working and the whole concept, because I think it just gives you more flexibility. For example, as an employee, because you can choose between either go to the office or just work from home. And for example, if you have like a very important appointment, you can just postpone your work for later on. And I think this gives you just a huge advantage. So
Absolutely, yes. We have more flexibility also maybe with time schedules, because we can manage how much time we have, for example, in day, the work we have to do, maybe if we want to have some breaks, which are also very important, so we can manage also that.
yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you, Lucas. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. So thank you everybody for joining this discussion. So now we will see very briefly, we will keep going with our overview on smart working, and then we will change to to the second part of this workshop, okay? So yes, we can continue our work. So I will be very brief in this case. We have a digital transformation in smart working. As Anka was saying, the digital skills are very important in this case. And not maybe everybody feels confident to use a tool or to use another, because sometimes we have never been taught of this kind of tools. Then we have a new perspective, as we've said, on the relationship between work and technology. And we have also more online opportunities, we can say. Like, for example, well, last year I was a student still at university. This distance gave me the opportunity to join also workshops, also other projects at distance, when before I maybe was more difficult for me to join this, because I had to go to a certain place, maybe it was very far from where I live. So it really broadened this aspect. So it's also important to point out this transformation. Then next we have also other things like teachers, tutors, and mentors to adapt the training to digital environment, as we've seen. So as also Feliciana was saying, talking to teaching people with a black screen, because for the majority of time I have experienced it, people are maybe afraid to turn on their camera, to turn on their mic, because of different reasons, and so you don't have anymore that connection with your public of students or your colleagues, etc. So it becomes difficult, and we have to adapt also the teaching with this. One example can be flipped learning. With flipped learning, we intend you can say an opposite, a reverse way of learning. Now, for example, as teachers, we have a teacher who explains a topic, and then we have students at home doing exercises to see if they understood, and then these exercises are corrected with the teacher. In the flipped learning, which we will then see more in depth in another workshop we will have, then I will share with you again the program. We provide to the students part of the learning and exercises, so they have to do the first part by themselves. Okay, and then they have the lesson with the teacher to see and prove if they really understood that topic or not. Then teachers have to organize time and resources and reinforce digital skills, and also motivate the students at distance, which sometimes can be pretty difficult, because working, also always being at home, can be comfortable at the beginning, but then it gets a little bit, a detachment from the rest of the colleagues or the rest of our friends, etc. So to really conclude, we will see hybrid work, how it works. Hybrid work is the newer concept associated with smart working. So in this year and a half, we've seen how we really want to work from home, but at the same time, we don't want to do that all the time, for all the week, for example, because maybe we need some human contact, with some communication, interaction, what is the so-called human touch. So this really can help. Hybrid work is a theory in which we have part of the week we have at school or at the office, and part of the week we study or work from home. So we combine these two elements in order to make the studying or the work experience more flexible. Great. So now this was the end of the first part of the workshop. Now we will share with you, to hear your thoughts, another Mentimeter, so to see how, what you think, what is your perspective on smart working. So we will see now on the screen in a few seconds the Menti. Okay, here it goes to everybody. So this is really, we would like to know your perspective on this. Do you like to work at distance or be physically present on your job, or maybe at school? So which of these do you prefer? Again, we will share the link in the chat, just in case you cannot scan the QR code correctly. Okay, so the first contributions are arriving. So for now, everybody likes to work physically on the job or at work. Okay, now we are splitting. We are 50-50 at this moment. Still, physically on the job seems better for many of you, and smart working less. Let's see if others want to join. Let's see if other answers arrive. Let's see. Well, I think it's done now. Okay, so in this case, for the majority of people here, they like more to be physically on the job. Well, maybe something I could already see from some of your answers. Maybe for others who like more smart working, a type of hybrid work could be better, because you can join both aspects in the same week, for example. Great. Now we start the second part of our workshop. Again, we will share with you to also hear your thoughts on this. Another Menti. So this Menti will be more on the tools you use. Now we go more to the practical part of the workshop. You will see the Menti in a few seconds on the screen. So I would like to know from you which of these tools you can see here you have already used or you commonly used. You can always scan the QR code, you can use the link in the chat. So let's see what tools you have used to help you work. Okay, we have Zoom, Google Forms. Okay, great. So the majority of you have used all these tools. They are different kind of tools. For example, we have Teams and Zoom, which are tools that we use more for this kind of communication. So to see ourselves and hear ourselves. Then we have Google Drive and OneDrive, which are different tools that are more for storage of documents. We have then Google Form and Trello. Google Form and Trello are two different tools. Trello is more, we will see now, for project management or in general to manage our work. And Google Form is to hear from everybody, or also in this case of teacher and tutors, it can be also used to create quizzes. Great. So I think everybody more or less has used at least one of these tools. Of course, there are many more of these tools. We put here the most common ones, but we have really thousands of tools to be used today. For example, one of the most used also is Google Classroom or Google Meets, which is similar to Zoom and Microsoft Teams, etc. So now, for the more practical part, we will see together a little bit how Trello and Google Form works. So you can access this software from the links we have here. If you want to have this brief tutorial, now you can write to us or to our partners in your to your contact in your country, Romania, UK, or Italy, and we generally do this material we can use for. Now let's see Trello as the first tool. Trello is a tool which we use for project management. So we use it to keep up with the tasks of a project of our work. Working teams get the information easily. All the information are easy to put, to see, and to keep up with. We will see why. Rajiv said that yes, he uses Trello and recommends it for working projects. Yes. 21 working, yes, absolutely. Many of us, like for example myself, I use Trello a lot because it helps you to work in teams so that everybody, can keep up with the work. Sometimes it can be difficult in smart working because we don't see each other physically. We have to call, make a phone call or make a test, which is easy, of course, but sometimes it's not something we do repeatedly. So, Trello is a tool which can be accessed for free. You can create your own account, I will show you in the next slide how the platform looks. Okay, so you can create your own account with your own email, or even easier, you can access through your Google email, your Microsoft email, Hotmail, yes, Microsoft is Hotmail. Then we have Apple account, for example, our iCloud account, so it's easier. So we just have to access through that mail or create our own. So put our mail and choose a password, of course, as the many ones we have. Also, Anka is saying that she uses Trello and is very good for project management. Yes, I'm very happy to hear about this. It's a great tool. Which today we wanted to present to the ones who already have experience, maybe to refresh a little bit their memory, and for the ones who did not know about this tool, how it can be used and how it looks. So you sign up, you enter in your dashboard. Here you can create boards. Boards is where you keep your work, your tasks, what you have to do, what was done, and what you want to share maybe with a fellow teacher or your colleague at work. We have already many templates available with different styles in which they have already a set look that then we can edit to add our personal content. Then keeping on next, once we have created our board, the first thing we see are lists. So we have different blocks, like this one we are showing you now, in which we can create cards. So the single tasks we need to create. So let's think of the list as the box, the folder, and the card as the single elements we have in that box. We can add in our lists a description, in our cards a description. We can add members. So if we have a team, we can have also checklists. We can have dates of completion, and we also have a chat box here in which you can type messages and just get our message, instant message, a reminder to people on our team. It's very easy to use. Then we can customize the card, adding, for example, an image, a title, a cover, etc. Then next, we have members, so we can add other people to our cards. And as I was saying, we can add colors to make it also more pleasing to see. We continue. As I was saying, we can add due dates, we can add the beginning and the end of a specific task, so that then we set a reminder for everybody to say, hey, this has to be done by the 8th of November, for example. So that everybody has this at a glance. This is the main feature of Trello, that we don't have to go crazy looking for the information we need. We just click on the list, on the card, and there we have all the information. Then we have create checklists. This is something which is very useful. You create the step-by-step of completing a task. So for example, I have to create a new lesson for my students. So the first task could be, I have to maybe select the content I want to put in this lesson. Then I have to create the lesson, maybe looking for videos, images, which are really good supports when we are teaching online, because we can really have a kind of change of pace. We can integrate so that also we have different perspectives, and we can have an in-depth look in a also fun way, for example, through videos, etc. Then we have many other kind of things we can do. Now I am going to share with you an example of Trello board. This is a step-by-step on how you can create this. You can create the Trello also for your personal life. It's a good way, for example, to keep track of your expenses, of what you have to do by a certain time and not forget about it. So I'm going to share with you. Let me know in the chat if you can see it, so that I am sure that everybody can follow me. Okay, I have yeses, so I can keep going. So this is a Trello board, okay? So we have to, for example, this kind of Trello board. This is a list. So for example, we have the list to do. We have, for example, create a Facebook page. You can see already from the closed card that we have a date here, a deadline to create this. That there are attachments to the card, so there can be some documents, images, which we can download easily. And that there is here a checklist. So there are multiple steps to do in order to create this Facebook page, okay? So we have also labels here. We can add colored labels to see, for example, to do, delete, pay, etc. And we can customize these labels from here. We can customize it here, modify and put what we want. We have the attachments and the checklists. So we have checklist, create the page, add pictures. When it's done, we click on this and it's done. Okay, so that everybody can see that it's done, but it's also a reminder for us. And then we have here a chat in which I can tag, like on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram. We can tag a person, write the name. For example, this is one of my colleagues, and I say, for example, hi. Save. In this case, she receives the message I sent her. Okay, she will see this message here. With this little bell here, it will become red, and we will see here, oh, somebody wrote to me, I have to do this task, etc. Okay, so for the ones who never experienced Trello, I highly recommend it, because as I was saying, it can help you also with your personal life and to manage better your work. Also for teachers, for tutors, so that you can keep track of what you're doing, especially because I know teachers, tutors have different classes and different things to do, to create. They also have to share work. So this can be very great for you, so that you can keep track of everything. Again, if you wish to create Trello but you need support, we can be of help here. So Rajiv says, you're welcome for the information. We use it to manage our social media campaign too. It's useful for many projects when you need to work with multiple people in a team. Absolutely. As I was saying, we also use it from our personal experience, and it really has worked greatly, even when we are at the office, because and we are present in the office, it can really help us with it. Now, now I will share with you another tool which can really be useful for teachers. Maybe they have already used it, which is Google Form. Many of you I've seen have used it already, and they already have experience. Maybe some of you have used it as outsider, in the sense that you had to complete a survey or a quiz, but did you also have the possibility to create quizzes or surveys? Write me in the chat which of these experience you had, so that we can give you also some direction in both cases. Okay, so Google Form can be used really to create surveys and quizzes. You can easily access with your Google email, which I think is something more or less everybody has for a reason or the other. So we can access from there, and we have, together with the documents, the slideshows, this tool as easy accessible. We also have apps for our smartphone, so it's very easy. Then we can create a new Google form by adding title, questions. We can answer questions, because how you can answer questions, because you can choose multiple choice or open question, etc. Add images, also videos, etc. You can do this here. This is what you have when you click on blank form. And you can see questions and responses. This is really one of the most important aspects for the people who create this kind of forms of quizzes, especially for teachers, because there we can see the questions we have proposed and customize them. So adding, I don't know, when was I don't know, whoever born, etc. Then you can customize it and add what you want, how you want people to answer. So short question, paragraph. You can put also a date, for example, like the example I did now. Rajiv says use a SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey is more or less the same thing. They are pretty similar in terms of what you can do and what you can propose. But maybe the advantage of Google Form is that it's free, in the sense that with SurveyMonkey, if you want to create something more developed, I think if for the free plan you can only have a certain number of questions. Then you have to pay for it, if I'm not wrong. But a few months ago I used it to create it. Here you can put 30 questions for free, customize them, share them easily through mail, link, and these are the main really features. You can also share this form you are creating with a colleague, so that they can help you with the creation of it, etc. So I would say that Google Form it's easier to use in this sense, because it's free, it's accessible. We already have a Google email, and so it can be better in some cases, and we can create quizzes and tests also with it. So I'm going to continue. So you can send, as I was saying, mail link. We can embed our form in websites, for example, and also share it directly on Twitter and Facebook. This is the case maybe of companies who want to have the opinion of their customers on a certain product. And then as I was anticipating, you can add collaborators. I'm seeing that Anka says that she uses Google Form for tests. Absolutely. Yes, this was one of the first tools that I think was used by teachers to give tests to their students, if I'm not wrong. Teachers here can correct me if I'm saying something correct. I would like to ask the teachers, like for example, Anka or other teachers, Feliciana, how was the experience with Google Form? Did you enjoy using this tool, or now you like to use other tools, for example? You can also write in the chat if you wish. And of course, how it was for your students to do tests in this kind of way. Let's see if we have some ideas. I see that they are typing. This is what we need to create quizzes. Here we can go inside and create our quiz. So Anka says, yes, for me, it is still a very good way to evaluate. Great. Great, this is good because then you have all the responses and answers to that. Absolutely. Yes, Giuseppina says, SurveyMonkey has less options. Yes, it's true. It has less options in terms of how you want the person to answer, and also other different, you are limited to the number of questions you can propose. For when we do events. Yes, absolutely, Rajiv. This is a very good tool to create questions for events. Also, for example, like this one in this case, because of course here you have all the information at glance. Then the one who creates this kind of quizzes or surveys has all the answers and the information they need, and they can also download this as an Excel. So you already have everything there. It's easier to collect the information and to analyze it, of course. Yes, absolutely. You can use also to vote. Absolutely, we've done this. For example, you have to choose a new logo. You can use Google Form. So Anka says that Google Form, I can also set the correct answer for question and students find out immediately. Yes, creating a quiz is really good with this test also. And then you can add plugins to the form. So you can add the time you can give to the person to fill in the form, which is something common at schools, for example. Instead, Feliciana says she uses other programs that Google Form is not that much good in her experience. Yes, we do have many programs. This is one of the easier to use and the ones we maybe have more experience with. Okay, great. Thank you for your participation again. I'm very happy because everybody here is sharing their ideas, their opinions, so we can see different perspectives, really. Thanks a lot. Now, as to conclude, I'm going to briefly propose you first a quick Menti, so to see if you already know what I'm going to talk about, and then we will continue with it. So in a few moments, we will see another QR code. I hope you like this system of Menti. Please write in the chat if you like this system, if you already used it. Some of you may have already, some of you did not use it. So let's see. In the meantime, here is the Menti. So what do we refer to when we say cloud? So this is maybe can be an easy question for some, but others did not hear this word in this specific context. So we have three options. We have meteorological event, a dream, or an online archive. Okay, so the first answers are starting to arrive. We have online archive. For now is the majority of you, and when we have meteorological event, let's see if in these last seconds we have more interactions. Come on, I know you can easily do this. Okay, great. We have one more. The time is almost over. So some of you in the meantime, I see that you like Menti. Menti system is very interactive, smart. Absolutely, this is another tool you really can use in this case also for your teaching, in case you are a teacher or tutor. This tool is super easy to use. There is a free basic plan in which you can create a limited number of questions. You can share the QR code or the link, or you can use the code which you can see up in the screen, and you can participate. You can also do open questions to people. You can add the pop-up questions. You have different ways of having multiple choice. So it also gives you a visual change. So going back to the answers, the majority says an online archive. This is what clouds are. Maybe you already experienced the use of archives. The most common ones are the ones we are going to show to you briefly, are Google Drive and OneDrive. Their systems are pretty much easy to use, really user-friendly, and they allow you also to have your data, your documents from different devices, which is really great because you can access from your smartphone, maybe if you're out and you have to share a document last moment. So a cloud, as many of you answered, is an online archive platform that allows us to share documents, to upload documents and save them. It is available at all times, meaning, as I was saying, you can access from the computer, from the smartphone, everywhere. If it is shared with you, from the creator, maybe you want to work, you have to create something at the last moment, but you don't have access to, you are not in the office, for example, you can use Google Drive to use this. Anka says that she uses the cloud to access documents from the smartphone when I'm at work and I cannot access my home laptop. Absolutely. This is very important because sometimes we don't carry the computer with us all the time, or at least the majority, like me, but we have the smartphone. So Google Drive, OneDrive are free apps we can download from the Play Store and use it whenever we want. Now I'm going to show you briefly some of the benefits of using an online archive like Google Drive or OneDrive. So they are easy to use. The interface is very easy. You can access through your Microsoft or Google email, and in many times also with other emails like I don't know, Yahoo, or also the Apple mail, etc. It can have multiple users. This is particularly important for teachers and for teams, because you can share a space and then you can upload all your documents that you need. And one of, I think, the most important benefits is synchronization. This is something not everybody has access in they set, but it's very useful because you can say to automatically update to Google Drive or OneDrive the documents you have created, so that you don't have to do it manually. Synchronization is really an amazing tool, and then we save space on our computer memory, and then we have backup always available. This is very important. For example, when we create documents on our computer, sometimes something can go wrong. We didn't save the document, or the document goes missing for whatever reason. If we put it on OneDrive, we don't have this risk, because of course it's there, so we can access, we have it as a backup. Then briefly also the challenges, which are mainly, as we were saying previously, the internet connection. If we don't have an internet connection at the moment, we cannot access, and possible extra expenses, which is not the case of Google Drive and OneDrive for the basic plan, which I think for personal usage, but also for professional usage, they already give a pretty good amount of space in which you can upload your documents. So briefly, I'm going to, well, you know where to find the Google Drive and OneDrive. There are also apps you can download on your tablet and smartphones, easy accessible. You only have to access one time and then it's done. And then we continue. So Google Drive, I know many teachers have access to Google Drive through their schools, who provide them with Google Suite, with G Suite. And G Suite is very, hello, hi, Antonio. We have, you have a pretty good space. Then for free, we have 15 gigabytes, which are already a good space. We have easy access to Google account and possibility to create documents directly on the app. So we don't have to upload it. We can edit, create, and add content already on the platform, and it saves automatically there. So Anka says, or you can set up more accounts and you get free storage for each one. Yes, this is the smart way. Absolutely, Anka. Yes, we can have also more than one account and have the same space. Okay. So we have access to Drive. You will have your Drive space here in which you can access and have all your documents in it. Then you can, next, we can create documents. Okay, we have the menu. This is the main part, really. We can create, we have different spaces. This maybe can be confusing to some that never used Google Drive, but OneDrive is also similar. In this case of Google Drive, we have My Drive. It's my personal space, the one other people cannot see, cannot access. Instead, you can see on the screen, share with me. In this section, you can see the folders and the documents that other people shared with you. And then we have common features like many other softwares. The bin, this is maybe some of you did not read the update of Google. So the removed files are there up until 30 days. And then they are automatically deleted by Google. So you will not have the possibility to access again if you put one document out. And then you will also the possibility to create your own documents. You can create your folders, you can upload file or upload complete folders. So you can upload a folder with, for example, 100 documents, and then you can create directly Google Docs, sheets, which are similar to Word, Excel, we use more often, and also Google Forms. You can create them from here and directly have them on Google Drive. So you can also share them with your team if they want to change. Then briefly, next, how to share your Google Drive. So we have share with team. So we add the email, in this case, of the person we want to share with our folder or document. We have get the link. We can have a link which can be unlimited for use, which are unlimited for use, or can be restricted. So only a few people can use this link and maybe edit the document. So you can also restrict this part. You can rename the folder, personalize it with colors, etc. And then last but not least, this is the little menu, I call it, in which you can share directly the link of a document or folder, share with the email. You can see a preview of the document. There is the icon of the little eye, and then the bin to remove the document. As for OneDrive, this is very similar and has almost the same, the same features. There are only two different storages, but we have many today. We have today Amazon, we have iCloud, for example, for Apple and Mac users, and other types of storage. Great. So this was a brief introduction to these tools. If you want to know more about them, maybe you had problems with some features of these tools, and you can write it to us. At the end, we will leave our email if you have questions, etc. Yes, you can see the email there, or you can contact the local partner from Romania or the UK that shared with you this event. Now, to conclude our event, we will share with you a survey through Google Form. So you will see on the chat the link. I please ask you to open the link, the file, and share with us your impressions on this brief workshop. Okay? So you can complete it. Here you can see it on the screen. So you can complete the survey. Share us with your opinion. It's also very important for us so that we also can improve what we are doing, and then also what next workshops we are going to have. And please, when you are done with your survey, please write on the chat, okay, I'm done, I've completed it, so that we can keep track with how many of you are on it. And you can click also on the link on the screen and open the survey. Okay, so I will leave you another couple minutes. Let me know as soon as you're finished. So I hope you enjoyed this workshop with us. This was the first one. Then we will share with you again, with help of my team. In the meantime, I will share with you again the program of our workshops. So the next meeting will be, I zoom it for you so that it's easier. So it will be on the 25th of November. In the workshop will be dedicated to video curriculums and e-interviews. This is very important because also this step of the recruiting process has been done, is now online and is used by many. So it's good to use because we are newer to this. So it can be useful to know how, if you already know what it is, a video curriculum. Some of you may have heard about it, some not, and e-interviews. So what are they and how we can prepare and manage them, okay? So we will discover more about this in the next meeting. In the meanwhile, have you completed your survey? Please send a yes or no on the chat so I can see it. Thank you. Okay, yes. Okay, yes, yes. Survey completed, yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, but yes, great. So I think more or less everybody completed it, and okay, we have still someone typing. Okay, then if everybody has finished our survey, I thank you a lot for your participation. It was great to hear you and hear from you, hear your perspectives. We have activated some cameras if you want to say goodbye. And thank you very much. See you in November on the 25th. I hope to see many others with us and to see you, of course, all the presents here again. And have a good evening, everybody, and see you next time, okay? Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Gabriela.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Gabriela.
Hi, Giusileda. Hello. Bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hi.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Anka. Max, thank you.
Thank you.